Hi, welcome. My name is Mina, and I hope you're all doing well. In today's class, we're going to go through balancing the energies within us, which is very, very important for digestion. And when we talk about digestion, we often think of our stomach and the intestines and the juices sort of doing their thing. But digestion is just so much more. It starts with what we put into our bodies and the way the body assimilates and distributes, and also how the body eliminates. So today's class is going to be an adaptation of a hatha adaptation of a kundalini session for balancing the Vayus. The Vayus are the winds within our bodies. And to roughly go through them, we have prana Vayu, which is the energy or the wind that it's moving into our body. So the food that we eat, also the sounds and the sights and everything that we can assimilate through the senses is prana that we take in, and it's mostly seated around our heart. And then we have samana Vayu. Samana Vayu is what we mostly more centrally associate with digestion, assimilation. And it's mostly in the area of our bellies. And the direction of the energy is going from the peripheries inward. And then we have Vyana Vayu, which is an energy that's going from the center towards the periphery, and it is responsible for the distribution of energy, also associated with blood and lymph, but also nervous information that's moving from the center to the outward. And we have Udana Vayu, and Ud means up. So this would be energy that's going from the center more upwards, and this is associated with the area of our throat and our ability to speak. And this is also how we maybe respond to things. It's also an important form of digestion when we digest, and we can respond to something through words, through thoughts, through visions. Good. And the last of the 5 winds is Apana Vayu. Apana Vayu is more seated towards the lower end of our torso, and it is responsible for excretion, so menstrual excretion, going to the bathroom, also ejaculation, birth. That's the energy that's like pushing downward and out. And today's class is going to balance all those different energies so that we can take in, assimilate, and also expel in a balanced way. And we're going to finish with a meditation. It's called point-to-point meditation to integrate everything. So let's get started. I'm sitting on a little blanket here, and we're going to start with gentle Sufi circles. So you can start to circle your upper body in one direction, gently moving through the chest, through the hips. And if you like, you can inhale to move forward and exhale to round back. A few times in one direction. And when you're ready, you can reverse the direction, inhaling, still going forward, and exhaling backwards. Good. Waking up the spine, waking up the body, waking up the winds. Last round. Good, and then you can slowly come back to center. And we're going to take a few side bends, so you can place your left hand onto the floor. Inhale your right arm up towards the sky. And then exhale, bending up and over. Good. Let's take one more inhale here to get longer. And then as you exhale, let's go a little bit more diagonal and forward. We're going to repeat this. Inhale, clean side stretch. And as you exhale, rounding and bringing the hand diagonally forward, getting a little bit more in towards the back. Inhale to the side. Exhale Exhale, rounding, reaching diagonally, keeping both sit bones grounded. Inhale, side. Last time, exhale to round a bit. Good. Let's inhale, take it back up. Both arms up. And as you exhale, let's go over to the right side. Beautiful. Let's take one more inhale here, grounding the left sit bone a little bit more. And as you exhale, round and reach diagonally, keeping the shoulders relaxed. Inhale to the side. Exhale, round, reach diagonally. Keeping the head also soft. Inhale. Exhale. Getting into the back muscles. Good. Inhale. Last time. And exhale around. Good. Let's take it up. Inhale. Coming up. Both arms up. And let's right away move into the twist. Exhale. Twisting to the left. Inhale. Back up to center. Reaching both arms up. Exhale, twisting from your center over to the right. Perhaps gazing towards the back as well. Inhale, back to center. Gentle twist, no need to use your hands to push or pull. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the right. Good. Last round, inhale, center. Exhale, over to the left. Good. Inhale, center. Last round, over to the right. Good. And then inhale, reach up. And then as you exhale, gently bring the hands forward. Maybe you stay up. Maybe you like to bow down a little bit more. And you can round your back, relax your head, keeping the sit bones grounded. Opening up through the spine a little bit, through the hips. Nice. Wonderful. Slowly come back up. And then we're ready to come on to Old Fours. You can always place a little blanket underneath your knees, so you feel nice and cozy. Good. And then planting your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and let's move through cat-cow with the breath. As you inhale, open the heart, squeezing the shoulder blades, gaze forward. And as you exhale, round, gazing towards the belly button. Nice. Inhale to open the heart, gaze forward, allowing the belly to sink towards the ground. And as you exhale, round, tailbone reaches down, spreading the space in between the shoulder blades. A few more times at your own pace, moving with the breath. Keeping the mind nice and anchored to the breath, to the sensations in the body. Last round. Good. And let's take it into a downward facing dog. You can tuck your toes under and lift your hips up and back. Great. And in your down dog, you can walk out the feet, bending one knee at a time. Perhaps you like to shake your head. Good. And let's come into stillness and down dog. Your knees can still be bent. Your heels can be lifted. You want to get this sensation that the hips are moving up and back so that there's less weight in the hands. Good. And then we're going to walk the hands towards the feet or the back of the mat. Take your time. Gentle forward fold. Feet can still be hip width distance apart. Knees can be bent. And then ragdolling here for a moment. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the head. Good. Feet are grounded and the tailbone wants to reach up towards the sky. Good.
The entire spine feels like it's hanging out of the hips. Wonderful. From here, we're going to come into Malasana or yogic squat. So the feet are going to be a little bit wider apart, toes turned out. And then can you bend the knees to come into a frog-like position? You might need a cushion underneath your bum to feel, or two or none. And we're going to hang here for a little while. We can press the elbows in towards the knees. Lift the heart up. Good. And this is definitely a position that is stimulating Apana Vayu, the downward and out flow of energy. You can birth in this position. You can go to the bathroom in this position. And allowing the belly to still be somewhat soft. Beautiful. Let's take one more deep breath here. Good. And then we're slowly going to come back up into a forward fold. Release the hands. Slowly lift the hips up. Feet parallel again. And let's take it into one more ragdoll, forward fold. It's always surprising how heavy the head is if it actually lets go. Good. And then from here, we're going to gaze forward and slowly walk the hands back forward into a downward facing dog. Nice. And from here, we're going to come into lying on our bellies. You can release the knees down slowly. And from there, come onto the belly. You can also go through chaturanga. Nice. And we're going to start with a few dynamic cobras just to warm up the spine. The hands are underneath the shoulders. Elbows are close towards the waist. Feet pressing into the floor. And as I inhale, I'm lifting my spine, lifting the gaze. And exhale, lowering back down. Could you do this a few more times? Inhale to lift, keeping the back of the neck broad. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift, creating more length from the toes through the crown of the head. Exhale to sink back down. Inhale, last time, maybe a little bit higher. And exhale back down, and you can release the forehead down to the floor for a moment, or one cheek if you prefer that. Maybe shaking the bum side to side. Wonderful. From here, I'm going to come into Sphinx position. Elbows underneath the shoulders or slightly further forward if the curve in your back is a little bit too strong for you. Nice. From here, we're going to come onto our backs, and it goes as follows. You can look over the left shoulder, and you can bend your left knee. Reach the right arm forward, and come on to your back-ish, or just come into a twist here. And then slowly come back to center, extending the leg, coming back into Sphinx pose with the arms. I'm going to take the blanket out from under me because it's just getting crumpled. I'm going to go through the other side. When you're ready from Sphinx, looking over the right shoulder, bending the right knee, extending the left arm, and then opening the right arm into a gentle twist. Come back. Both elbows down to the floor, legs extended. As you exhale, gazing over the left shoulder, bending the left knee, right arm extends forward. Coming into a twist. Inhale, back to center. I'm going to do this a few more times. Exhale, looking over the right shoulder, bending right knee. Left arm comes forward into a twist. Inhale back.
Exhale, other side, looking over the left shoulder, right arm extends, rolling onto your back-ish. Inhale, back to center. One last round with breath. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Good. Come back to Sphinx pose. Just enjoy the symmetry in the body, and maybe there's a little bit more length or space in the body. Wonderful. And then you can come back down to releasing your forehead. Wonderful. We're going to do one last back bend here. You can repeat the dynamic cobra, stay in a cobra, or you can come into Shalabhasana or locust pose with me. In this variation, maybe bring the feet together, interlacing the hands behind the back. Start by pressing the toes into the ground, pubic bone reaching into the floor, and then rolling the shoulders up, back, and down to lift the heart. You can start to lift the legs as well. And then we're breathing here for a moment, creating this energy through the back bend, massaging the belly through breathing in this position into our bellies, stimulating Samana Vayu. Good, and then slowly release again, placing the forehead onto your hands. Shake out your bum. Nice. And then take your time to come into a child's pose for a moment. Press the hands into the ground. Lift your hips up and back. You can always come into puppy pose if child's pose is a little bit too much on your knees or your hips. Puppy pose would look more like this. And wherever you are, allowing your lower back to widen a little bit. Allowing your energy to settle, calm. Great. And then let's slowly lift our gaze, come up, and we'll come into Virasana. So hero pose. I'm going to use a block to sit on. And my heels are just outside of my bum. Of course, maybe you need a little bit more. Maybe you need a higher cushion, 2 cushions. Whatever you need to feel good in your knees and your hips and your ankles. Maybe you need a little cushion underneath your ankles. Good. And this is also a pose that yogis say you should come into after eating food so that the blood can stay within your organs for digestion. We're going to go one step further from here. We're going to bend or extend the right leg. So the right foot on the ground, right knee still bent. Coming into half Virasana. And from here, you can start to lean back any amount, getting into the front of the left thigh here. Maybe you like to lean back just a little bit, maybe a little bit more. Maybe you don't have a block and you're lying flat down. Maybe that is your variation. And here, the more you reach the tailbone down, the more the stretch in the front of the thigh intensifies. Good. I'm taking a few breaths here. And from a TCM perspective, so meridian perspective, the front of the thigh is where the stomach as well as the spleen and pancreas meridians are running. So it makes lots of sense that we want to do this in a series that balances digestion. Let's take 2 more deep breaths here. You can always come out or deepen the stretch depending on what your nerve receptors are telling you. Good, and let's come slowly back up. And we'll switch the legs. So you can release the right knee down and then place the left foot onto the mat. Good. And from here again, any amount that you want to lean back. Maybe you're lying down all the way flat. Maybe just leaning a tiny bit is enough for you. And again, the more I arch my back, the less it's going to work on the front of the thigh, and the more I sort of curl my tailbone under, the deeper the stretch in the front of the thigh. Nice. And taking a few breaths here, making sure your face is soft. And opening the front of the thigh. Balance out the stomach, spleen, pancreas meridian. Wonderful. Good. And then you can slowly come out of this position again. Let's come into a symmetrical virasana one more time, hero pose. Let's start tapping a little bit. So starting with the chest. So you can either make really soft kitty cat fists, or you can use your fingertips. So stimulating the lymph here, making sure that things get distributed from the center to the periphery. Nice. Now let's move down towards the belly. Soft taps all around. Good. And from there towards our thighs, I'm going to use my soft fists now. Just massaging or tapping the area that we just opened. Also moving a little bit into the inner thigh. Good. And then moving back up to our navel. Really, really the center or the hara of our energy. Good. And then we're going to finish off at the sides of the neck. So lots of lymph vessels here being really, really soft. Beautiful. Good. And then place your hands onto your thighs. Just let that reverberate for a moment. Good. And then if it's comfortable for you to do a few more Sufi grinds in this position, you can do them here. If this feels weird on your hips or your knees, you can come into easy seat Sukhasana, cross-legged position. We're like a pendulum that's sort of integrating everything, allowing things to digest and then move out. When you're ready, switching directions. You can still inhale forward, exhale back. Nice. Good. And then slowly coming to stillness. And then let's come on to lying on our backs. So you can come out of this position, moving onto your hands. Take the block out. Maybe your feet like a little bit of tapping. And then you can swing the legs out to the side. And come onto your back. Great. So from here, you can extend the legs. If legs extended doesn't feel good on your lower back, you can keep the knees bent, otherwise extending the legs. And coming into Bananasana. So you can extend the arms up towards the sky. You can interlace them or just keep them next to one another. Good. And I'm just going to slightly curve my upper body over to the left side. So I look like a little banana. This might be enough of a stretch for you on the right side of your body, or maybe you like to walk the legs also over a little bit to the left side. Some people also like to cross the right leg on top of the left one. Very vacation-y pose. But beautiful in getting into the entire right side of the body in a pretty passive and well-supported position. Now checking in, what do I not need to contract in this moment, tense up in this moment? And then breathing a little bit more into the right sides of the ribs. The right side of the body where the liver is, the gallbladder. Last deep breath. Good. And then slowly bring your legs back to center. Wiggle your upper body back to center. And cross center over to the right side. Curving your banana the other way. And then maybe you like to move the legs to the right a little bit as well. Again, maybe if you like the variation with the left leg on top of the right, you can do that as well. And then deepening the breath. Feeling the stretch from your pinky fingers into your left pinky toe. Creating space in between the ribs. And this time on the left side where the spleen and the pancreas are. So the stomach's also a little bit more to the left side. Soft, juicy belly. Good. And then let's come back to center slowly. Upper body, lower body. Good. And then you can slowly release your arms down alongside your body. Bending the knees again. Good. And we'll bring the right knee into the chest, into Apanasana. So we're stimulating the ascending colon first. Good. Breathing here for a moment, allowing the breath to massage the body, the belly. Good. And let's go into a gentle hamstring stretch. You can interlace the hands behind the thigh and then start to extend the right leg up towards the sky. Maybe you like to circle the leg with the foot a few times. Good. Feeling a gentle stretch through the back of the body. You don't have to fully straighten the knee. Good. Beautiful. And then let's release the arms. Make the leg as long as possible and reach the toes away from you bit by bit so that the stomach has to work a little bit. Core muscles. Good. And when the leg is all the way down, release for a moment the leg, the shoulders, the belly. And then let's switch sides. Place the right foot down on the ground. Bend the left knee into the chest. Apanasana on the other side. This time stimulating the descending colon. And again, using the breath and the movement of the belly against the thigh to massage, create harmony. Wonderful. And then holding on to the back of the left thigh this time.
starting to extend the leg up towards the ceiling, and here circling your ankle, your foot, one direction and the other, and making sure your shoulders are also still soft. And no need to tense up here. Good. And then slowly releasing the hands, making the leg as long as possible as you slowly, slowly reach the leg down towards the ground, noticing that your core starts to work at some point. Good. And when the foot hits the floor, soften everything, the legs, the belly, the shoulders. Good. And then let's bring both knees to the chest for a moment. You can just hold on to the knees, massage your sacrum here for a moment. And for the last pose, just reaching both arms and both legs up at the same time. Again, my knees are soft. And one more time, circling the wrists, circling the foot. Lazy inversion. Allowing the lymph to move back from this periphery back in towards the center. And just hanging here for a moment, feeling the gravity working on the thigh bones and the arm bones so that they can move back into the hip socket and arm sockets, shoulder sockets. Good, and then let's bend the knees, release the arms, and come into Shavasana. Maybe you like to get warm. Maybe you need to put on some socks, a little sweater. Maybe you like a little pillow under your head. Good. I'm going to stay here for a moment to do the point breathing meditation. Let's take a few breaths in and sigh them out to begin with. So that your jaw is soft. And then any residual tension can move out of your body. Good. And once you're really comfortable, you can start to bring your awareness to the crown of the head. Inhale here. And as you exhale, exhale down your entire body to breathe out through the tips of your toes. Inhale from the tips of the toes all the way up through the body, up to the crown of the head. And again, from the crown of the head, exhale down towards your toes. Inhaling from the toes to the crown of the head. And doing this a few times at your own pace. Like you're washing your body. Good. Next time your awareness back at the crown of the head on your inhale. This time exhaling all the way down to your ankles. Inhaling from the ankles back up to the crown of the head. And exhaling from the crown of the head down to the ankles. Inhaling from the ankles back up to the crown of the head. And doing this a few more times at your own pace. From the crown to your ankles. Beautiful. Next time your awareness is at the crown of the head. This time exhaling down to your knees. Up from the knees to the crown of the head on your inhale. And down from the crown of the head to your knees. Repeating this a few times at your own pace between the crown and the knees. And then the next time your awareness is at the crown on your inhale. Exhaling down to the base of your spine. Inhale back to the crown. And exhale to the base of the spine. Again, a few more times. Breathing between the crown and the base of the spine. Good. Next time your awareness at the crown of the head. Exhaling down to your belly button. Breathing between the crown and the belly button for a few more breaths. Next time your awareness is at the crown, on your inhale. Exhaling down to your heart center. Breathing up and down between the crown and your heart center for a few rounds. And next time your awareness is at the crown, exhaling down to your throat. Breathing up and down between the crown and the throat. And next time your awareness at the crown on your inhale. Exhaling down to your third eye, the space in between your eyebrows. Breathing up and down here between the crown and the space between your eyebrows. Wonderful. Continue. And we're slowly going to move back down again, reversing this whole process. Next time your awareness is at the crown. Breathing down to the throat. Breathing up and down between the crown and the throat for a few rounds. And the next time your awareness is at the throat, at the crown of the head, on your inhale. Exhaling down to your heart center. Breathing up and down between the crown and your heart center for a few breaths. Next time, exhaling all the way down to the belly button. And next time, exhaling all the way down to the base of the spine. Next time, breathing down to your knees. And then all the way down to your ankles. And then all the way down to your toes. Breathing all the way up to the crown. Breathing all the way down to the toes. And then breathing up all the way to the crown and beyond into infinity. And then breathing down your entire body all the way down to the toes and into infinity. Breathing up the entire body to the crown and all the way into infinity. And breathing down your entire body through the toes into infinity. A few more times, breathing up and down and far into the distance. Like there's cosmic ocean waves brushing through you, aligning each and every cell and vessel in you, balancing out all the energies and all the winds to bring you back into perfect alignment. And then slowly let that image go. And just come back to your natural breath in this moment. Noticing your body here in space, within the four walls, on this floor. And you can start to deepen the breath again. Bringing small movements back into your fingers and your toes. And growing those movements in any way that you want in this moment. Before bending your knees and lazily rolling onto one side. Coming into fetal position, making yourself really round and compact. And then you can release anything into the floor that you don't want to take into the rest of the day or into your sleep. And then pressing your hands into the floor, making sure the head comes up last. Keeping your gaze really soft. And finding a seat for just a moment. Sit on a blanket or a block.
Maybe you'd like to join me in bringing the hands together in front of the heart. Feel your heartbeat, feel the breath. I'm going to bow my chin in towards my heart center in a gesture of gratitude. And I thank you very much for sharing this class today.